The Atlanta Falcons are in an interesting spot, to say the least. Yes, you're coming back, Desmond Ridder and all that, looking for your franchise quarterback yet again, it seems like. But at the end of the day, I do think that there is a lot of talent on the Falcons. There's a lot of good building pieces there. And today, go through some of those, we are doing our very first edition of the Atlanta Falcons Mock Draft 1.0. Couple things. That means no trades. Have fun with it. Those are the only two things. So we're just going to stick and pick, see where the board falls, see who falls where, and then go from there. So we're going to bring you guys right into it. There's our settings. 7-round mock draft. Nope, not the Lions. Okay, the Falcons are down there. So 7 rounds. Yes, care for positional value. High speed, low drag. Draft for needs. The highest. No randomness, because we want this to be as realistic as possible-ish. As realistic as it can be. So we're going to enter the draft here, and we're going to go ahead and start here. So the Falcons currently hold the 8th overall pick. The problem with that is, I know they got needs at edge. If it's me, I don't mind the Falcons because I don't know where Anthony Richardson's going to go. That might be the only quarterback. Obviously them not trading up, that might be the only player that they can get or quarterback they can get at 8. Now, again, it'll depend on who falls that far and kind of what happens if they want to trade up. But at the end of the day, we're sticking and picking. And if we want to be honest, I really feel like you really want to go Richardson here, but I think come draft day, he's going to fall into the second round, which is where I think you can get him. But since, for all intents and purposes, Anthony Richardson, you got your quarterback of the future, we'll go with it here. So Anthony Richardson, now we're going to be back at 44 for the Falcons. And again, sticking and picking and seeing where this whole thing goes. So now you got your quarterback. What about your wide receiver? Oh, Nathaniel Tank Dell's there. Your edge players. You're going to be back at 75, 110, 113. Okay. So the Falcons have needed a really good edge player for a long time, and I would really like to get him that player. Keon White's there, 75. Tua Pelotu's there. No really big top edge rushers are there right now. And so Nathaniel Tank Dell, the man scored 17 touchdowns last year. Yeah, he's going to look real nice, in that wide receiver room for the Falcons. Yes, I absolutely love it there. So then we go down to 75. We got your wide receiver. We got your quarterback. Who's there at edge? That's my question. So, Isaiah Foskey's there. I like Foskey. Again, this is the very first mock draft. We're just seeing where the board falls. We're not getting too crazy with things here. So linebacker's also a need. I want to go Laporta. Kind of do. Rashee Rice is there. Do you double down on wide receiver? No, you don't do that. Marvin Overshown's there. I think that there's enough talented edge rushers. Again, I think the best thing for the Falcons is to trade down. But I'm going to go Foskey here out of Notre Dame. I do think he does a lot of different things well. I do question, right away, is he going to be a 3-down starter? But I think you go into the 4th round here looking pretty good and looking for your potential starters at linebacker. So, linebacker, Dorian Williams already went. That's tough. You get Cam Jones there out of Indiana. Yeah, I like me some Cam Jones. You're also getting a need. You're backing a couple of picks. And we've got all of our positions met. Now, the problem with that is I think I would like to go with another edge player here because I want them to double down on edge. I do think that there's a lot of good players still left here that you want to go after. So that's tough. Span Ford's there. Byron Young is there. Cade Stover. I think he was supposed to be on the draft last year, but, it is what it is. So edge linebacker. Marvin Mims. I know you already went wide receiver in the second round, getting Nathaniel Tank Dell, but Marvin Mims at Oklahoma, he really excites me. Like doubling down, little high here, but Marvin Mims is an absolute stud coming up out of Oklahoma. I getting a couple of wide receivers here. Again, your offensive line is pretty good. Things look good. I definitely think that's the thing you want to go with. There is, Henry Toyo is there too. I don't like doubling down on things, but Henry Toyo is a guy that I would do it for in a heartbeat. And I'm going to go Toyo here out of Alabama because the man's an absolute stud. Honestly, he should be a second-round pick, but obviously I know that there's concerns only playing 2 years at Alabama, coming over from Tennessee, all that good jazz. Ooh, Drake Nugent is – I always call him Sargent in these mock drafts. I mean Nugent. I'm going to go Drake Nugent here because I know you are... Ooh, Dylan Horton there. No. Dylan Horton, you double down on edge. I really like Dylan Horton. 10.5 sacks this last year for TCU. I think he's an interesting prospect that at the very least you can develop and see what he does, and I don't think you definitely worry about it. Do we double down on quarterback? Like, do we do Anthony Richardson like that? Yeah, I'm going Jaren Hall. I love me some Jaren Hall. I really do. 7th round guy. Maybe you get him as an undrafted guy. Fine. But I love Jaren Hall. Threw over 30 touchdowns last year at BYU. Let's go with it. We're doubling down on quarterback. We're getting crazy here for our first mock draft of the year. So how it all ends up. So you get Anthony Richardson at 8 there. Again, I think Anthony Richardson is going to take a year or two to kind of develop here. I think you got to put him in the best position to be successful. Don't do, he can't be the guy that's trying to carry your team. But I do think that you potentially sit him for a full year. You really want him to develop and see what he can do as a passer. Second round, Nathaniel Tank Dell, 17 touchdowns last year for Houston. You don't need to say anymore. He's going to bring a lot of value, and I think he's going to be a really good player, coupling him with all of your talent there in the wide receiver room already. Then Isaiah Foskey, the edge player out of Notre Dame. I think he's a guy that he's going to get better with more experience in the NFL. I love getting him here, and I do think that he could be potentially better in the NFL. Again, I think he's going to get a lot better because I do right now question his ability to be a 3-down player. Cam Jones, the linebacker out of Indiana. You love how the board falls in this one. I think Cam Jones might surprise some people. I think he could be a starter right away in the NFL in the right situation, including the Falcons. Marvin Mims, again, this was just a draft love pick here. Again, a little high, but for Marvin Mims, but I love it here. I do think he's a guy that, again, you're going to round out your wide receiver room with Marvin Mims and Nathaniel Dell in this draft. Yes. And then Henry Toyo here. Out of Alabama, I think he could be a starter in the NFL as well. I know he only played 2 years at Alabama, but at the very least, you get him to play special teams. I feel sorry for everyone else. Then finally, Dylan Horton there. And I know we're forgetting about Jaren Hall. Give me a second there. But Dylan Horton, edge player, had 10.5 sacks for TCU last year. There's a lot to work with there. I think you can get a lot of value out of him. Not being a starter right now, but I do think that he is going to bring you a lot of value, and you can bring another guy off the edge and see what he can do there. And then finally, rounding it out here with Jaren Hall, the quarterback. Hey, it never hurts to bring another guy into camp and see what he can do. And I think the Falcons are in a really good spot here, and I think they're going to do a lot of different fun things in this draft. But that's it. That is our very first edition of our Atlanta Falcons Mock Draft 1.0. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think of our first edition draft, our mock draft 1.0 for the Atlanta Falcons for the 2023 NFL season.